Hey, what up?
Hello.
Man, I'm sorry. We in the midst of having animal difficulties.
Oh no, I feel it. Animals love to be complicated.
Man, it's their first night outside in the kennel, so
Oh.
they're not having it. Yeah, they're making the whole block go crazy. All the other neighborhood dogs.
Nuh-uh, lay down. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. It's Conversations with your host, Plain Jane.
Woot woot.
I got with me
Childish Gambino.
and I have
Low.
Hey.
All right now.
And Chelsea.
Hey Chelsea.
Hey, y'all.
What's
How
up? What's
you
up?
doing?
Good. How y'all doing?
Good.
That's good. Dang, it's a pleasure to be here.
I
It's a
appreciate it.
pleasure to have y'all.
Most
For sure.
definitely.
For sure.
So, I figured I'd change up the topic because Anchor wanted to be stupid. I don't know. So anyway,
That was crazy. I don't know what happened. I was like, what's the audio? Oh.
Yeah.
We had a great 50, I think it was 57 minutes or 50
Yeah.
hour, yeah.
It was great.
So are we thinking about keeping the same topic or switching it up so we just have like a free flow of a whole new idea?
Yes.
Yep, it's gonna be a different topic.
Okay, cool.
That part.
So we did a episode already about boundaries, but I feel like you can't talk enough about boundaries. So,
True.
but that'll be the topic for tonight.
Okay.
Part two.
Part 2.
Part
How words are hard.
Okay.
Um,
Are we smoking?
I don't really necessarily have a question.
Okay, I got
don't
a
know where to
question
start.
because you guys are in a relationship. You said that you are fiance, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are there certain boundaries that you allow yourselves to I'll say push when you're meeting, like, say the first time your spouse met your friends? Like, what did you know, like like
This person is like kind of like this.
yeah,
so-
like, y'all don't talk to them too much because they got to fill you out type thing. And then, like, vice versa, like when you introduce her to your friends, did you, like, were you like
had the same boundary.
yeah, did you have that same boundary, or was y'all, or because I know me personally, when I get with my friends, I'm like, y'all, if I bring somebody new around, let them have it, because if they can't hang with y'all, they're not supposed to be here type thing. Like,
I feel that.
that's a boundary for me. If you can't hang with my friends, you can't get with it.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
feel that. Yeah. So with us, the good thing is that we never necessarily push our boundaries. We're always willing to discuss our boundaries and find where we may differ in our understanding of these boundaries, how we show up in making sure that we respect the boundaries. Some things are compromisable, so you don't have to always be like, no, this is my boundary, this is that. Like, some things are like, I could probably adjust this a little bit. So we also have those moments too. When it comes to our friends,
Yeah, when it came to our friends, I feel like we both came into the space of like, well, with my friends, they already knew what time it was. I feel like when I brought a woman around, they knew it was on some serious. So
Yeah.
they already like respected the fact that I was bringing her around, but
Okay.
I just allowed her to be who she was, because I already knew that they was going to appreciate the woman she is and what she brings to our friend group. Like, and if, like you said, like if she can't hang like with the type of things that we say, the conversations we have, or like knowing how we play around and joke and kid and like just feel the vibe, like I knew that would like kind of like raise some flags if necessary.
Yeah.
But it never did. And then vice versa, when I was around her
with
friends,
our friends, yep.
yeah, like she just let me like, play the field and see how her friends were, who they were, and we just kind of like feel each other's energy out.
Yeah.
Get down, guys. Get down. Oh, okay.
Good hit. Real good hit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's probably gonna be the one to do it.
And coughing makes you higher. That's the crazy
Yes.
thing.
The fucked up part is I was continuous, like I was still letting air out, smoke out, as I was exhaling from my cough. Like,
that's
man,
took off for a minute.
It caught you in the middle of your inhale.
Yeah, choked me up real quick. Okay, so I mean, since we're on the topic of friends and everything, what are some boundaries that you hold your friends to, or not? I guess boundary wouldn't be the right word. I guess what the hell?
I think boundary is a perfect word, actually.
Okay.
But for the sake of staying on topic, boundary. You know, like my friends, it's only certain people that will get that quote unquote childhood side of me. And so when I say that, when I get around my friends, I'm always bitch. Like bitch can mean 100 different things. But if I'm outside of my friend groups, bitch will never leave my mouth. You feel me? Like that's just a completely derogatory and horrible term. But for some reason, it never pops into my head when I'm talking to my and it's like they're the girliest girls, and so it's just it just take me aback sometimes. Like, dang, you really just be up here calling bitches. Like,
yeah.
So, I guess a boundary for me that I found out as I got older, I wasn't allowed to have other friends. My best friend wouldn't allow me to have other friends. They wouldn't allow me to bring new people around. Like, they were completely rude. They were definitely on some, who the fuck is this? And you thought it was okay to bring them? Like while they're there type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Oh, man. Yeah, that, and I think that there are a lot of people that unfortunately use their friendships as like possession and control. And I think that's the unfortunate part, because we see oftentimes that like people who don't have a lot of friends, they hold their closest person to them like by a leash almost. And that's kind of how that seems. Oh, there we go.
What's up with it?
We back.
I don't know what happened. I was talking and then y'all left and I was like, ooh.
Man, literally same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It didn't even tell us to wait. It just told us to disconnect and save it.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
There was no reconnecting on that one.
So hopefully it really did save and it's not just lying.
Okay, bruh.
Right,
So,
right.
My bad. Go ahead.
No. So going back to what we were talking about, like with friends, like sometimes friends that don't have many other friends or are possessive, they hold their closest friend like by a leash almost. And so I think with boundaries, I think setting friendship boundaries are almost the hardest things to do for people, because our friends, like, we want to give them like this unconditional love without there being any type of like romantic anything involved. But sometimes we don't know how to set the boundary of, well, although we're friends, can you not do this? Can you not say this? Or like, can you remove this from my space? Or can we agree or disagree to not do this? Like,
and I think even with best friends, you want to make sure, like, not even like, not all the times, but a lot of best friends tend to want to like have this notion of having unlimited amount of access to you when it's your best friend. And so it's like, you don't ever want to say no when it's unnecessary. So you tend to like do things that may, like, when you look back on it, it's like, man, why did I allow that? Or why did I accept that? Yeah. But it's just out of love, you know, and it's not like the other person, your best friend, is trying to like prevent you from receiving love from others. But sometimes, like Lauren was saying, I guess people just don't know how to allow that, like somebody that they love, to receive that from some other source other than them.
Right.
My thing, because like I said, I don't know if y'all ever saw me or nothing, but I'm like about a sound. I know y'all probably can put a face to my. Anyway, so all my like friends are super girls, super dressy, and everything like that. And so for a person that can fall in love with a personality very easily, it was a boundary that I had to draw with myself. Like, okay, are you being like platonic towards her, or are you trying to charm her? Like,
right?
I didn't even realize how charismatic I was until my best friend told me that.
Wow.
I think I was telling her I was feeling a girl and and she was like, she just basically told me like, go for it, you can get her. And I was like, bitch, like, you crazy, like, you know, I didn't have that confidence. And so she ended up, you know, basically just telling me like, do you know how charismatic you are? Like, you can literally da 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 da. And I'm just like, I never really thought about it like that. And so when I set that, when I had to take that time back to set that boundary, you know, like to really kind of check myself to see how I felt about my best friend, it was just kind of like, yeah, nah, like I definitely can't see you out my life. You feel me? But I didn't see you in relationships, and baby, that's not me. Like, you know. So once I saw that, and that was that on that.
I feel it.
I can say though, for me, that
completely straight.
On my note of a boundary that I've had with my friend, I can speak on this. Days specifically, I remember in college, like, we were all cool. Everybody in our friend group, we were cool. I had the car, so we hotboxed in my car. That was the thing. Cool, right? I don't know. It was something about Days that it just attracted me to her. Like, I
like you.
Yeah, on a note like that, not just on a friend note. So it wasn't no hey. But hey. I don't know, for some reason, because I felt that I was going to be around her all the time.
You had to let me know.
I had to let her know that I felt that way about her.
Absolutely.
Regardless of how she felt back, I wasn't expecting her to, you know, be like, oh yeah, I like you back or anything. Like, I just literally had to let her know how I felt about her.
Sometimes you might feel like I'm flirting with you. I am.
Okay, it might come off that way, but
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, you know, type shit. And she's just like, okay, you know, that's cool. I don't necessarily like girls for real, and that's not my thing, but you know, I do appreciate you telling me that, and da-da-da-da. And from there, I just respected that boundary, and that was just that. But also, like she was saying, though, baby was saying, if I came off a little flirty, it came off a little flirty. But also, because I let her know that already ahead of time, she kind of, you know, like, respected my boundary on it. You feel me? Had I pushed it, she probably would have been like, all right, I'm gonna need you to chill a little bit. But like, I never pushed it because I respected her boundary, but also she understood my boundary and how I felt about her. So she was like a little tolerant of it.
Yeah. And I feel it sound like she handled it in a mature way. I mean, like, because I honestly don't think a lot of women or girls are mature enough to hear that and then stick around and want to maintain a friendship.
Absolutely.
It's like,
absolutely.
It's just, especially with straight women, it's just unfortunate. But
yeah,
I think that it's hard. It's rare to find women like that. So that's a beautiful thing that she could accept that and say, well, you know, it's not reciprocated, but that doesn't take away from, you know, like the respect that I have from you on a friend level.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like that kind of blew my mind. I was like, what? It's people out here that's just cool as hell.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know.
And that's real. And like as a lesbian woman, like the boundaries that we even have to set when it comes to who we're attracted to be important, because when we get attracted to women that are also not lesbian, there's some boundaries we have to set within ourselves where it's like, okay, well, if you know they're not doing the same exact things that you're doing, or they're not, you know, what you want, why go after them? So, you know, those type of boundaries too when it comes to romantic partners is important.
Most definitely.
And you know, I'm just sitting here thinking, because I'm listening to her talk and everything, I don't know if I've ever been with a strictly lesbian woman.
Wow.
Oh, really? Wow.
I've always been with either, like, if I talked to them on that type of level, they was always like straight, but we, you know, da-da-da-da-da. But, or if they did like women, they were bisexual. You feel me? Like, I don't think I've ever
been with a
lesbian woman. Yeah.
I was like, can I ask?
Is that part of my?
Do you present masculine or like a stud or stem?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm definitely. I use they them pronouns.
Okay.
You know, and I definitely come off as masculine. I've been called sir multiple times a day to my face.
Got
like
you.
Friday, so
I got you.
You feel me?
Yeah, and I think that's also the thing too. I feel like the lesbian women that are more masculine presenting have almost a different experience than the lesbian women that are feminine. Like I'm a feminine woman, a feminine lesbian, and so for studs, it's like they have a completely different experience because people are almost trying to make them men and replace them, but with a vagina, essentially. And so they get this right. And so bisexual and straight women go for them so often because they're like, if you were a man, da 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 da, and it's like, but that's not how you should go about that. So again, those boundaries, like, what are these women actually looking for out of you, and why? Like,
yeah. And so yes. And that's, I mean, going back to like boundaries and how like I feel and stuff, I'll definitely take on the masculine role. I mean, that's obviously unsaid. Like, I mean, it's just
kind of
inferred. Like,
right.
And so I find myself, I literally get mad at her if I see her. I came around the corner today and you was just putting the garbage bag in the trash can, and I thought she was taking the trash out, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it just so I definitely get where you're coming from, as far as the whole women trying to turn studs into men. But a lot of it is also studs not really knowing themselves. Like, I mean, because
as a feminine woman, not even just feminine, but as a woman in their body.
Yeah, it's exactly. So I met genuine studs that are, you know, everything that you would depict as a stud, like, but will definitely cut up on you if you call her a him. You feel me? And so like they're that type. But then you got the people like me who consider themselves such a stud. You feel me? But wanted to be a man, but didn't know that like trans was a thing, and I just didn't know all of that. I just knew that I wasn't a stud. I felt like more of a man than the studs. But I wasn't. I knew that I had the ability to give birth, and I wanted to explore that. So like I didn't completely shut that down either. But I know who I am. Like I know how I look to other people. So you can definitely be like, "Hey, bro," and I'm definitely gonna turn around like, "Huh?" Like,
right. And of course, people don't know how to accept the fact that it's okay to be trans. And if you're a woman, a biological woman, and you are trans turning into a man, like, and you still want to experience birth, that is perfectly okay. And for some reason, people can't wrap their head around the fact that it's okay to experience both.
It's like, dog, how about I just got a blessing?
You know?
Right. Like you get to live two lives essentially, and I don't think that being a woman or being a man should be so gatekeeps to the point where we aren't accepting trans folks into, you know, and that's my boundary. I'm like, we shouldn't be trying to use like being a woman or being a biological male to shame trans folks for wanting to live the life that they feel that they deserve.
Because just like y'all, like, you know, the people that's straight and got their desired bodies, you feel me? I didn't have no choice in my sexuality. I didn't have no choice in what my body was attracted to and what my mind was attracted to. And so, but at that same token, I know what body I have. You feel me? And I say it all the time. If I was a man, you would have been probably had about 2 kids, 3 kids. Like, I had some illegitimate kids. Like, and so I think it's like, I joke about it and say it's God's little joke that make me a woman because I'm such a man. And so I really try to, I guess, to try to get back on topic, set that boundary for myself. Okay, when you feeling a little more feminine, are you feeling feminine, or is your man and you just a little gay? I just really be having to really ask myself that. Like,
I love the way you put that.
Really though, because sometimes I feel like for myself, I'm a little extra girly, and that extra girliness is a gay boy that just likes dresses. That, you know, like that likes that extra bouginess. Like, I don't know.
I feel it.
It's a gay boy that got lucky in a girl.
Yes. Like, I'm happy here.
Look, I'm the dumb down champion of the world, okay?
That's crazy. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
What's another boundaries?
Animals. I got
Okay, yeah.
I got
Oh
two.
boy.
I got
Two boundaries with your animals.
Yep.
Okay.
One, do not bring a snake up to me. I don't care what it look like. I don't care if it's see-through.
No type of rodent. No type of rodent either.
Look, I'm okay with mice. I'm okay with rats. I'm okay with. I mean, as long as they ain't scurrying across my floor, and I ain't never seen that thing. But well, the mice. I did see the mice when we was living in the apartment.
Yeah.
And that's why I got that cat. But that. But damn, what the fuck was I talking about?
Snakes. You said.
Okay, yes. Don't bring me a snake. I don't care how cool it is. I don't care if it's walking and talking. I don't care. Don't bring me no snake. The second one is don't point out a centipede. Don't. Just don't. You can point out the biggest spider you ever seen in your life. I'll step on it if you want me to.
Don't do
like, I'll do anything to any other bug. But a mud, I got caught in the bathroom naked and sick before I got into the shower with a big ass centipede that crawled out of my towel on the sink. Oh my God. And then you just left me.
Because I thought it was a spider.
She screamed and ran away.
I thought it was a big ass spider, y'all. No, really?
I'm dead.
Because the way that it came over the towel, I only saw the two big ass antennas. So I'm thinking it got 6 more legs. And I'm like,
no, I tried 98. Dog.
And then I saw it. I'm like, oh, I'm not really scared of centipedes. So I'm like, I kill it. But because I
don't know what's wrong with her. Look.
So
Anyway,
I was just like, I'd kill it, but then I saw how big that bitch was. I was like, oh nah.
You did it multiple times to me. So do you just put yourself in my predicament? Like, you standing here literally ass out, and your biggest fear just crawled over what you was wrapping your body in.
Oh gosh.
And your spouse just screamed and ran.
Terrifying.
The part that made me laugh the hardest, because like I couldn't believe it. It was Jordan leaving me in the house on fire all over again.
What was fucked up for me in that whole scenario was that I brought her the towel.
Okay. You set me up.
I carried this motherfucker into the bathroom.
That's crazy.
You transport.
Right.
It took a free Uber ride on your ass.
It really did. Oh my goodness.
Like, dog.
It's reliving it. That's all nasty.
Right. I was like re-traumatizing myself right now.
Man, I wanted to scream so loud, so I don't even think I did. No, I did scream.
We all was both screaming. We was both screaming. I was in the kitchen screaming.
Dog.
I don't know what to do.
I don't do centipedes. Centipedes is too much.
We didn't kill it, by the way.
Oh yeah, that motherfucker.
Oh god.
That centipede is centipeding. Okay.
I'm stressed.
Oh my
Bro,
God.
The only way I'm able to sleep at night is I get comfort in feeling like maybe it crawled into the dog's room and Cookie got that nigga. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Or Romeo, because Romeo like to mess with bugs.
You better not.
He like messing with bugs too.
Oh, you better not. You might not be my son, boy.
But my boundaries with animals, I feel like more so comes on a cat note.
Okay.
Like, okay, so not disclaimer, but I remember seeing this post kind of recently, and it was like people who don't like cats are just controlling and something, but just kind of yeah. And so it made me really think, like, do I really not like cats because I can't tell it what to do?
Go lay down, yes, go lay down, go
lay down. We listen.
Sorry, we're listening. Our dog.
You good?
Fine.
It's interesting that you say that, because I dislike cats, and I think that is something that I probably have a huge problem with, because like they can jump on tables and kitchen counters and like stuff like that, and it's gonna require an extra amount of cleaning that I don't even know if I'm willing to do.
You know, like,
or worry about. But
that's just an extra. That's just extra
responsibility. Yeah, then a dog, you can't stop them from jumping up on a mantle. Like, but dogs, they can't even reach that. Like,
well, my dogs.
I don't know. Like, some cats got hops that they can reach at. Like,
look,
my dog got hops, and they just
goodness,
suck, as it is.
Oh wow,
the puppy is bigger than your puppy now.
Oh
man,
and we just got.
Yeah, he about what, 4 months old?
Yeah, him a big boy.
He not even. I mean, like,
but cats also. I don't know. They just. I don't know. Me. They got a boundary. I don't mess with cats and their boundaries.
They definitely have their own.
That's just, I don't know. Yeah. That's just their thing. Like, whatever their boundary is, I don't fuck with it.
They come up to you like you.
Right.
Pet me.
Yeah. When you come to me, that's when I mess with you. Other than that, I keep my eyes on cats all the time because they're very unpredictable. The cat might not just fuck with me, and it might just pounce on me. Like, what? No, I can't.
But no. Okay, so when you look at animals, this is a serious question. Do you ever like look them in their face, like in their eyes?
Yeah. Yes, and that's my problem because they feel trapped. And that's not my fault.
Animals are sweet, though.
That's where, when you look, I don't know, like you know how spiritual I get.
Yeah, no, you.
And so you connect with that animal, like
yeah,
they
do. They look super.
And maybe that's what it is that I don't. It's just uncomfortable that I connect with every cat that I look at. I don't. Oh. Maybe that's what it is. On that, I don't.
I'm dead.
Then just accept it.
Now that I know,
yeah.
I just be chilling. The animals come up to me, strays.
Yeah,
I told 2 stray dogs, 2 pit bulls that got out, that was just like running around the corner. They wasn't doing nothing. They was just out and they started barking. And then I was about to get back in the car because I got scared. But then I was just like, nah. I got out and I was like, go home.
And they stopped and looked at her.
And I was like, go home. And then I shit you not, they both turned around and walked right the fuck back around the corner where they came from.
And
hell
no.
Like,
connecting with animals is something that like is really deep.
Yeah, like we have demand over animals. Yes. Like it's not a coincidence. How you think Noah was able to get all them animals in the
Right. We was just talking about that story today.
All he did was say
how that aligned together because me and my fiance were just talking about that story today. We were like, Noah definitely had a savior complex because now he thought to build a whole boat to save people and all the animals.
Like,
bruh. And still wanted people to get on the stand.
Exactly. Yeah. Like he definitely had a savior complex.
Man.
But no, I feel that.
What's Evan Almighty? It's the
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. We got off topic. All right.
So for me with animals and boundaries, I think my thing is that I don't have a boundary with animals because I actually like to. Besides with, I mean, of course, like most Black people don't let an animal lick them in the mouth, so I feel like that went without being said. Of course, that boundary exists. With all animals.
We know somebody.
I know one.
We all know somebody. Yeah.
Yes,
I promise you, they took it to another level.
Golly!
I promise you.
Of course, there are people just out there in general that exist and do that, but that is a boundary that goes without being said with me. I don't do that. And so for me, outside of that, I feel like I don't have any boundaries because I actually like to coexist with animals and figure out like the psychology behind animals and figure out how they understand the world and how our human behavior affects them. And I like to like be in their habitat to see how they exist and how we can learn to exist better with them as opposed to them adapting to us. And so like I have very relaxed rules when it comes to like our dog, for example, as opposed to my fiance has very strict rules with him. So it's so funny because he'll always come to me when he knows that he wants to get something like more lenient as opposed to her. And it's hilarious because he knows that stuff, but he sees how different we are and he plays to that. And it's hilarious that animals are just so smart. But that's a boundary. For me, it's a no boundary because I'm like, animals are trying to teach us something, I feel like.
Yeah. Most definitely. That.
Damn. Okay, so you know I got ADHD, right? I was listening to man, I promise. But over here, I was thinking like, what if I'm like just genderless?
Okay.
Right?
So you're non-binary.
What? That's a thing? Damn, I thought I was being
non-binary.
There's a thing for everything.
Okay,
now.
Good old millennials.
Non-binary. I love that, and I'm glad that you probably your spirit probably just let you know that right now in the conversation. It was meant to happen. So I love that.
Yeah.
Of course, meditate on that. Think about that some more. But I love where you're going with that.
For sure.
And that's beautiful if you decide that's what you know, consider yourself, and if that's what you feel fits to you.
Right. Let yourself be free from the labels of woman and man.
No.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do wish I had a penis, but you know, that's another story. That's a whole nother story right there.
Well, the real tea is that men's penises are just enlarged clits. So we are the standard.
We all
so
know
look,
this.
all I gotta do is take some testosterone.
Exactly.
All I gotta do is take some tea and then hit the gym. But I wouldn't even recognize me. Hold on.
Okay, and then if you decide to want to do like any surgeries, then boom. It's all a journey.
And I already told myself that I would get it, but if I did get it, it would be after I had my firstborn.
Love
Because
that. Yes.
I want to be able to be, so
yes.
Romeo, we all right.
No,
We good. I promise, we good. We good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good boy.
They fighting over there. We good.
Yeah. He knows what his name is.
Now I'm going back to sleep.
Okay.
He said, "All right, cool."
Cute as hell.
But
What are some boundaries that you have for yourself?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I think that's a great one because we don't often think about what boundaries we need to have for ourselves, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my boundary is never letting people downplay my worth in any way. So that's for sure my boundary. Like, I won't do things for free. I don't like to be in spaces just for clout and exposure that I feel like aren't good for me.
I'm working.
I don't like to align with folks who I can already sense some really weird energy from or vibes from. But like, I just have a very like, my boundaries are much stronger now than I feel like they ever used to be. But yeah, those are some of my like just self boundaries, is to never let anybody downplay my worth in any way. What about you, babe?
I would say some personal boundaries for sure. Like just on a physical plane, it's just like not overspending, not buying shit when I'm sad or like trying to consume or feel the need to consume.
Yeah.
Because when I get on social media, that's what I feel like is like projected and marketed to us. But then I have to return and myself and like remind myself I don't need any of that shit. So a few of my boundaries lately I've been trying to do is to make sure I don't get back in the mindset of this rat race mentality and capitalistic society of being in this like cycle of working ourselves to death, to where it's just like we just working just to have some money, just so we can buy this unnecessary shit that really doesn't have any value, but we have all agreed to the fact that, oh, this shit means something if I buy that, or this means something. So it's just like I think that's a boundary that I've set recently that I've been trying to work on, like making even stronger, because it's just like unnecessary, and I feel like it makes us disconnected, and like it's removing so many things that we're supposed to be experiencing in this life, I think. So that's a boundary. And then definitely keeping the right company is another boundary I have with the people that I let in my space, especially somewhere that I live or whatever. And then for sure, race is a boundary with me. Like I don't like, some people try to disconnect from the fact of like not seeing color, and they know that it's so much more to life than that. But they also cannot forget what skin they are currently in. Like that's just what it is. Like, and if one person or one race or ethnicity is getting mistreated, my boundary is, and if I hear some BS on it, I'm gonna call it out. I'm not just letting that shit slide. Like, we're not doing it. So I think that's one of my biggest boundaries, actually. So being a Black woman and being gay, so it's like knowing that this is a country that's run by predominantly straight white men. I know how dangerous it is for us to be who we are, especially women like us, to our stature, and considering like our differences in our sexuality. Like, those are boundaries we all got to be concerned about.
Yes, most definitely.
We're gonna have it hard.
Most definitely. Yeah. for sure.
What about y'all?
Okay, right, because I'm sitting here trying to think, but I'm also trying to listen at the same time.
Yeah, take y'all time if y'all need to. I was thinking about it. I was trying to think about it too when Lauren was talking, so I feel it. I was trying to think about it.
I think boundaries just run deep, so it's something that we could talk about. Like here we are, part 2 of boundaries, because y'all said y'all already talked about it. So boundaries is something that can be talked about thoroughly. You just learn more and more about what you need as boundaries.
Definitely
as you talk about it.
I would say, I think I said this last episode, or last time too. I don't have many physical boundaries as far as like being out and about with people. Don't touch my hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a boundary. Okay. Nope, not the same one.
But I'm a very open book. I grew up. I went to summer camp every year from the age of 7 up until like maybe 19.
Okay.
And it was a predominantly white camp.
Oh.
It was a Christian camp. So when I was probably more than likely maybe like one of 3 black kids there out of the summer.
Oh.
So I grew up with a lot of white kids. And they were some of the greatest people that I knew. You feel me? Like that was before that I knew. Before I guess my eyes was opened or whatever. But when I found that shit out, I was really conflicted because the white people that I knew didn't demonstrate none of the stuff that y'all telling me that these white people are doing.
Wow.
So yeah, it kind of
threw you for a loop.
Exactly. It kind of
that is interesting,
right? As fuck, right?
Do you mind? What state were you right? What state was that? I'm curious.
Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But the camp was in Newaygo, Michigan, and that's near Grand Rapids.
Got you. Yeah.
So
that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm glad that was your experience personally. Like, I wish it was more experiences. I wish that like more.
All black folks are unfortunate.
That's literally to this day still my like favorite place on earth. Like to this day. So I mean, but so to get back on track though, the boundaries that I have for like other people to just come and ask me questions, I don't have any. Like you'll be surprised at how many white people have been so comfortable to be like, can I ask you a personal question? And I'm like,
oh my God.
I already know where it's about to go. I chuckle to myself and I'll be like, yeah, what's up? What you want to know? And I think the one time in particular I'm thinking of is when we were living in Indiana, and I was working for a company doing traffic management and stuff like that. And my partner, she was like, is it true that you guys don't use lotion?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Bro, what?
And I was like,
wait, what?
You mean y'all?
Okay, bruh. Like,
but hold on.
It blew my mind. I'm like, what you mean we don't use lotion?
So there's a.
But see, okay, so look, I said that first part to put y'all here.
Interesting.
I don't use lotion. So that was probably not the right question to ask me as a black person. Because I was like, I don't know about other black people, but I don't use lotion when it's cold. Like.
Okay, well, see that. Okay, I can see. That's what I was about to say. I can understand the question a little bit because when I think about it, I only use lotion at certain times of the year. I use shea butter or like coconut, like diluted coconut oil throughout the rest of the year just to like kind of keep my skin moisturized. But yeah, that's interesting.
I've been asked some off the wall questions. I've been asked. Well, okay, I'm not even gonna say that it's been all them because I've said some off the wall shit too. I remember like the part of camp, we like the first day everybody had to get lights checks, and me living and growing up with my grandma, she always told me that we were different type thing. You don't need sunscreen. You don't need da 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 da. You don't. Right. So when I got to camp and they was like, yeah, we need to check you for lights. I'm like,
no, you don't.
Okay, I don't got lights.
You don't.
Yeah, we don't catch that shit. We don't have that shit.
Exactly. That's probably exactly what I said. I was like, no, I'm black. Black people don't get lice. And but me being a little black kid with all these white counselors,
it's kind of like,
they don't know that.
You know that. You
have no idea.
No idea.
So
every time our school had lice outbreaks, I was like, nope, not going to that check because I
y'all giving it to
that has
people.
nothing to do with
y'all
me.
Even changing y'all gloves.
Right.
I don't even understand how to sketch it.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And so
I've
never had it.
Either. Now I think about it.
Be switching hats with another. Anyway, that's just
Literally.
That's another conversation for
you know, like.
We're going back to stereotypes. Look, let me find out.
That might tie into that.
Okay.
So I guess it's not.
I mean, because I have met I've met a black person that hung around a lot of white people and did get lice. I was shocked. I was like, you're the first and only, and I've never met another person outside of that person that had ever gotten lice. I was like, you're the only black person I know that has gotten lice before.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. You see,
Crazy.
And that's what I told her. I was like, we don't really get lice, but black people get ringworm. You know,
yes,
we do.
We get
We
ringworm
do. I had it
way
too.
faster than we'll get lice or shit. I ain't never heard of a black person getting a tick, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like,
So I actually said something about that like a couple months ago. I was like, so all these tick stories, I've never seen it be a black person. So let me find out.
I knew I couldn't
who
have been the
are
only
immune
one
to
that
ticks.
knows that. It's
No,
because they black.
Because I go.
No, we good, bro.
We go hiking, and so where we
Yeah,
hike at have ticks. A lot
Same.
of it, and like in the hiking groups we're in, they talk about like being careful with ticks and having your tick repellent.
That's crazy.
And every time we go, we're like,
What are people talking
what
about?
we talking
ticks?
about?
I ain't know
Okay.
that was-
Yeah. So I feel like there's literally some shit that we're just like immune to, which is like,
Yeah.
cool.
And
Like-
this is stuff that they don't want us to know.
Yeah.
So the
That's
look, we about to get back into
that's a different
conspiracies part 2. We about to bring up the stereotypes part 2.
Okay.
Right,
Bringing it all
man.
back. I
Write
feel
this down.
I feel like maybe like majority of my boundaries are toward white people.
I can
Yeah.
say for you
Um,
for sure.
Like
You have
literally
zero
all of
tolerance.
my no, don't do this are geared towards them. Like I don't know. When black people, I don't know, and it's probably just the way I was raised and how I grew up.
Mhm.
Black people, that was all that I seen. And whenever I saw a white person, it was all snooty booty. So not about to do. So
Right.
that's kind of the energy that I don't give it, and I don't put it off. Like I don't come off nasty and just
Right.
you know, like I'm not like
course.
that. Like
Right.
I remember being at Eastern, and I think I was on the elevator or something, and a white girl, she was like, I love your hair. Like the hairstyle, because I was doing some dumb shit to my hair, really.
Okay.
I had braided the back down, and I had my hair, the top half like in a bun or something like that. It was just something like that. But I remember I had just went natural. I had just dyed my hair kind of like this cinnamony, honeyish blonde.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a different color. So it looked different. I get it, but like my inner self was like, yeah, I know you like it.
Right.
You can't do it. Like
course.
I don't know. My boundaries is just no.
But that's the type of white people you experience. The type of white people I experienced were the type that would say, like they would speak out loud, I love your hair. Oh my God, I wish I could do that with mine. Yeah, my hair is so flat. Man, my hair is so lifeless.
I
And
hate
it's
those
just, like they would
interactions.
really dog themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
those interactions I don't really like because I'm just like, well, why do you even feel the need to be talking down to yourself, talking down about yourself?
That don't make
and
me
just manage
feel
to
better.
compare yourself to me.
Right.
To me, that shows that in some way you're like,
You know
girl,
how
you look better than me, or
Right. I
girl,
look up to you.
right, I
Well,
look up to
saying
you. Yeah. It's interesting, but those conversations are weird because I think like in some ways white people idolize some of the things that we can pull off that they can't, and it's like,
Yeah.
but y'all try to, and y'all try to make money off of it and then call us ghetto.
No, like that's just problematic.
Yeah, so my boundaries for sure, and that's another boundary for me with white people that want to try to tokenize or idolize Black culture to our face, but behind our back is ghetto, or we're seen as some of the average stereotypes of, you know, having less than, or being flashy and being all about money, or just being in low income or poverty, or whatever the case may be. Any stereotypes that they have about us, I feel like every time they idolize or tokenize us, that's what happens.
Yeah, like you can't feel like, oh, you gonna talk to me if you met me at the bar, but if I came to the job interview presentable, you still wouldn't hire me. Like, don't do that to me. Don't do me
because
like
my
that.
name has an apostrophe or it has a
or not.
like
right. Simple difference in spelling. Like, oh, your name is not spelled with this. This is how it's commonly spelled, so I'm gonna spell it wrong.
You know, like
don't
look. I was very blessed to only. First of all, my name is gender neutral already. Plus, it can be multiracial. Like like so. Honestly, if I was to just not fill out the male, female, black, white thing like that, literally they wouldn't know who was about to walk into their door.
Yep. I always do that. Yep.
I was always thankful for that. You feel me? But exactly. And once I got with a person that didn't have that simplicity of their name, of just their name. Yo, only basic human rights that you're born with. You feel me? Like, so when I saw that was a thing for y'all, like that alone should be a boundary. Like when we saw that post on Facebook and it was like you with the long name or something like that, like correct them every single time, sis. Every single time. And it was like, I felt that for sure. Even though I don't have a long ass name, but like that should be your. I mean, I can't tell people. Should
like,
be.
Right.
But that would be a boundary of mine. If for some reason you couldn't pronounce Taylor, like I corrected my grandmother. Like she always called me Taylor. I hated it. Like Taylor.
Like a suit tailor,
Yeah, like what are you saying?
That's not my name.
So I really had to like go off one day like Mimi, it's Taylor. Like, bruh. I was so mad. But so I guess that's another that would be another boundary. I said that last time is once I don't think you're gonna get it no more, I mentally check out. And I try to make that a good thing more so than a bad thing. Just because I'm always respectful. You feel me? I'm never gonna just walk away from motherfucker talking
conversation.
To me. But I definitely just be like, okay, I get you, bro. Yeah. And then try to change the subject, like that's one thing that I guess I'm really trying to hold myself to still is having that boundary for myself of knowing my own intellectualism is it's okay to be better, like that I don't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole. But it's okay that your intellectualism exceeds other people.
The person that you're talking to may not,
unless it's a person that I care about, because then it's like, nah, we gonna get this. Like, I don't know, and that's something that you brought to my attention. You feel me? Like, nah, when you want somebody to get it, you turn into a bully. Like, and I really had to take a step back. Like, you're right. I do definitely scream at you until you get it. I'm definitely it's 2 + 2 = 4. I'm definitely that parent. So I'm trying to check myself on that, just trying to, that's still tying in with, okay, they're not there yet, but help them get there because you love them.
Help them.
We're just talking about that.
Right. So with that, I want to ask, like, do you think that any of your personal boundaries that you set, like, and this is kind of for all of us, like any personal boundaries that you've set, do you think they've ever affected or like called you to remove yourself from a certain type of person or relationship just because they weren't respecting that boundary?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, more recent than any time.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, the older you get.
Yeah, true. The older you get, the more your boundaries become clear. You're like, you know what? No, this friendship is
not dealing with that shit.
Right.
I don't gotta do that. I ain't doing that. I didn't find myself going off on quite a few friends because,
and that's family included too.
Man, family first. Damn near.
Most likely.
And that's sad because it's the family that tries to preach to us that family is all we have.
But they be the last people there for you.
Be the first ones to do you wrong and the last ones to be there when you need them. Like, that's that's the top. That's what I'm trying to break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want my child to definitely feel open enough to be like, shit, this dinner you cooked tonight, this not it. I ain't feeling it. Cause I'm definitely about to crack at you like, well, you can go on and crack open this bowl of Captain Crunch, my boy. But like,
Right.
you feel me? Other than that, like you can definitely have your own boundaries. My child will have boundaries.
Yeah.
If you come around and my child say they don't want to hug you, I don't want to give you a high five, I don't want to say hi.
Yeah.
Nah, you gonna have to say hi. But you don't have, if you don't want them to touch you or you don't want to touch them, you don't have to. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that.
You feel me? Like,
because
kids they got they people too.
Yeah. I'm glad you touched on that for sure.
Sit here and accept kids for being transgender, but we can't sit here and accept kids for having their own
boundaries.
You know, like what?
Right.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, like, I mean, the good thing is that we are learning this and trying to promote that because we probably grew up in households where we couldn't have boundaries. Because I know I grew up having to have boundaries.
Most all of us,
absolutely,
probably.
And the biggest form was you too young to have business. Like,
right.
What you mean?
Until you out of my house.
Like, actually, lady, I got a whole bunch of business that you don't even know about.
Okay, I'm going to whole school selling Kool-Aid sugar packets. Nah, right? That's a business. Nah. Yeah, like, you know, but then it start getting, when you start getting older and you start realizing that words hold power.
Yeah.
And you just kind of find yourself in that. I don't even want to go there mentally no more.
I don't want to go
right.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna waste that brain power with you.
It's a lot harder, I can say, to keep your boundaries set when it comes to your family because they're your family.
Exactly.
And because of
I think it's harder for me, but I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you okay. Like it's easier to fall into the pattern of feeling how you feel, not expressing it, they being how they being towards you, and then you getting older and still having these feelings, and now that you older, you feel like, okay, I'm an adult now, I can kind of communicate my words to you, but they still think you're a child, so
now that you're voicing your opinion, you seen as being disrespectful,
right? Like
or ungrateful.
No, I'm not. But then in the middle of that, you'll find yourself kind of backing yourself into a corner, I guess. Just, because of your family, and I don't want to do this.
But see, look, and that you just brought up a point in my mind that, because I know a lot of parents probably did this, and if there's a parent that's listening, check it. And if it's a kid that's listening, I'm about to get on the parent. I'm about to. You feel me? But parents don't understand that. Just like we said that kids got boundaries, you feel me? Parents don't understand a lot of the times where, for one, they lack the empathy because they don't. My problem in the first grade was way different from your problems in the first grade back then.
Yeah.
You feel me? My grade of bullying, your grade of bullying was you getting swirlies. Our grade of bullying was us getting swirlies, us getting talked about, and then us going home and getting clowned online.
Right?
It was never ending.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that was a lot more stress to be added on.
True.
And so it's definitely the parents that try to. My grandma was a big person like that. You feel me? But she's not anymore. Thank God. But she was definitely a type of sweep it under the rug type of person. And it wasn't until I had like a self-harm relapse and ended up in the hospital that she really kind of finally got it. Like, nah, you need to talk to somebody. Like, and that was definitely a boundary that she pushed for herself. Yeah. Because my grandma is a very private woman. Private and prideful. Like, her biggest argument was, why you want people on the outside in our family type thing. Yeah. Have to be like, because they not clouded by the bullshit of the family. It's like they got glasses on. shit, like,
You can see a little bit.
you know. But I think I'm digressing. But what I was saying was, parents, they need to understand that kids. I always felt like I was gonna trip out if my kid ever told me no. Like, I felt like I'd be damn near picking them up off the ground after they said no to me the first time. But then I sit here and I listen to other people parent their kid, and it's simple stuff like, hey, can you go do this and this and this and this for me? Knowing that they named a whole task for this child, knowing the child really don't want to do it, and knowing you gonna beat their ass if they say no. Why even ask me if I can do it? Just tell me to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a lot of
It's kind of a mental
check.
Yeah.
That you gotta, like,
That's true.
put myself in everybody's shoes that I'm either talking about or talking to.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's how I've become such a empathetic person, because I really can, like, feel like where they, I don't know, like, it's something I can't explain, but it's definitely
So I totally agree with you, because with that, like, how our parents bring us up plays a part into our relationships as adults. So if our parents weren't allowing us to set boundaries, we have a hard time setting boundaries as an adult.
Yeah.
And if they weren't allowing us to, like, and it really starts with, like, allowing your child to say no without getting mad, but also our parents, right, and also our parents don't understand gentle parenting. That's not something that they grew up with, because our grandparents weren't that way.
Right.
Like you said, like, your grandparents not the way that they used to be. My grandparent was the same way. Like, she was just kind of sweep it under the rug, and she was very prideful and private. But now she's so much more open to things, because I'm so different from what she ever imagined and ever saw.
Exactly.
And so with that, like, it really is important for parents to understand that the way you shape their understanding of life is how they grow up experiencing life or going about life. So if you don't let them set boundaries with you, they never learn how to set it. If they don't learn how to express their emotions with you, they'll never learn how to do it. And if you only use discipline, like whoopings and stuff, as a form of control over them, they will find that same type of abusive behavior in other relationships or in their life and think that it's okay.
That's the standard.
Right. And so it's really important that parents understand that the way you shape their understanding of life, it goes for the rest of their life. Like, after they're out of your household, after they're not under your roof, the way they live their life is based on what you taught them.
Yeah.
And it starts with really, really small stuff. And parents don't understand it, but they learn later, because like, I was able to tell my mom, like, hey, Mom, like, when I was growing up, you used to say and do this stuff, and, like, it messed me up, because now I react to things like this. Like, I don't know how to accept when people do things for me, because you used to say that when people do things for you, they'll throw it back in your face. So I grew up not letting people do stuff for me. And I was able to talk to her about that now as an adult, and she's like, I'm sorry that I taught you that, because I grew up with people always giving me things and then throwing it back in my face. I raised you on my pain.
What she knew.
Right. She's like, I raised you on my pain. And I'm the oldest, so I was her first child, and she had So she's like, I raised you on all of my pain. And I'm like, I feel that. And so now I'm having to heal from almost like my own pain and my mom's pain that we had together. And that's just how it goes with that development. You gotta make sure you there with that. But of course, young parents don't understand that, and that's kind of where those relationships lie. Like, when it comes to, like, our grandparents and their children, and then our mom or our parents and us, like, those relationships are cyclic and generational, and so what they learned is what they pass on.
Exactly. And so with stuff like, as far as disciplining, because I heard you say, earlier you were talking about whoopings and stuff. I was definitely a kid that got my fair share of whoopings, but I also got beatings. You feel me? Like that, it was completely different from whoopings. And so I always felt like I was gonna raise my child the same way. Like, if you got out of line, you had to get a whooping. Like, but now that now that I can understand that it's different ways of disciplining your kid, you feel me? Like, whether it be to take something away that they like, you feel me? Or, but even then, you teaching them that taking something, I don't know. It's just, it's always a backlash lesson in everything that you're doing for your kid. So once I kind of put that out my head, this is where I got to.
Right.
If the problem is bad enough that you need a whooping, you definitely gonna get that whooping.
Mm-hmm.
If the problem is to the point where I can talk to you and get through to you, I'm definitely gonna talk to you and try to get through to you. You know what I mean? But if it's a problem that I feel like you your own person, you can correct that yourself.
Right.
Even it could be as little as, I don't like, you want to bleach your hair? I ain't gonna let you bleach it, but I will let you spray paint it. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, right.
to be able to express their own self is what's gonna try to be that boundary break.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about us new generation of parents, because we know what we grew up with, and we're trying to change that narrative.
Exactly.
So that's the great thing about us new generation parents.
Exactly.
Or
like,
wanting to be the
people that I don't want to take my Xbox from my kid. I don't want to do that, but we going somewhere every single weekend, and you know we are. So if you screw up in school this week, you know you're not coming on this little kickback, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like,
not the kid going on kickback.
It's gonna be a whole FTK movement, like. Man.
That is too funny. No, I feel that though, but that's perfect. Like I think boundaries are just such an important part of how we show up and how we let people show up for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because without those boundaries, everybody is just doing whatever the hell they feel like doing and not really seeing what people need and want. They're just assuming and just doing whatever the hell makes sense to them, instead of like literally sitting down like, all right, these are my boundaries. Mm-hmm. This is the bottom line, and so where do we have a balance at in that? How do we align with these boundaries?
Yeah.
And boundaries can be a hard conversation. Don't get me wrong, because some people just never. When you don't grow up with boundaries, setting boundaries seems like an attack on you.
Yeah.
When people are like, "Can you stop doing that?" or "I'm not really doing that. I want to bypass that," or "Can I talk about this later?" or "Right now, I'm not in the space to really engage with you in this way." Like boundaries that are so like felt with love, but they seem like an attack to people who have never experienced boundaries or have been through neglect and abandonment, and they're like, okay, it seems like this person is rejecting me, and all I want is like attention or for them to understand me or to just see me. And so, just the way people operate and boundaries too matters, because you can set a boundary, but how are you setting that boundary? How are you delivering that boundary? How are you standing firm on that boundary?
Yeah.
So it's a give and take with boundaries. Yeah, it's definitely a give and take.
That's most definitely something that I'm working on currently.
That's what I was just about to say. We just talked about that.
I'm real passive aggressive. When I'm irritated.
Oh, girl, we cancers. You already know that's how we are.
So when I'm mad, I feel like, especially because of how connected me and baby are, like I just feel like at that point I don't gotta say it to you. You know what you did to you just pissed me off. So I know you.
Yeah, it's so annoying when they don't know they pissed you off. You be like, why don't you know?
And it's just like,
how do I know? Like what?
It's so fun. Oh. So the funny thing is that Chelsea is also an Aquarius. So it's a Cancer, Aquarius thing right now.
Oh,
yeah, she's an yeah. So the girl that's she's talking right now. She's a Cancer.
Okay.
Right. And so we're talking about being passive aggressive, and that's how Cancers are generally, because we don't like to, because we can be really aggressive, so it often turns into we be passive aggressive.
And see, I'm not with the passive aggressive shit.
Right. And
I'm very confrontative. Confrontational, whatever. Yeah. I'm very confrontational. Like, if there's a problem, I would rather you just tell me to my face.
That scares me.
Don't sit around and try to lollygag and try to tell. Like, just tell me what you need
to say. That's where we're the same, because I don't like confrontation, but I will confront people. I'm not afraid of confrontation, because for me, my life motto is we can fight about it. So for me, I don't care about confrontation. So we're the same.
That I'm most definitely working on.
Yeah,
is confronting people when I'm uncomfortable.
You should take a public relations class in a speech or a speech class. I think that
or even taking a psychology class low key, because when you understand the psychology of how people respond and understand things, it changes the way you approach conversations completely.
Yeah, I love psychology.
Same, me too.
But when I'm passive, I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you that I'm annoyed. You kind of should know I'm annoyed.
I know but that's never the issue. It's always why Why you doing
that I was just about to say. The problem is, I've noticed about myself too, is that I won't say the why. I'll show that I'm annoyed, but I won't give the reason why. And I be thinking people should know.
Getting on that.
But I be having to be mindful of that too. Like, nope, they don't know. Nope, they do not know. Only I know.
Yeah, so sometimes I have to, that's what I'm saying, I'm learning, because now I take a little step back and I be like, she don't know why I'm she don't know what the fuck she did for real. And then so I just take a little breath and I just be like, okay, you pissed me off when you did this. And
and that's another boundary that we talked about. Like, I've openly told her multiple times, like, baby, if you feel like I'm pushing you to the point where you really don't want to talk about it at that point, or you really just trying to gather yourself to figure out how you feel about it, you feel me? Let me know. Like, you don't have to tell me what's going on.
Yeah,
just
you guys
like, baby, give me a minute.
Sure.
Like,
just
give me a minute. I don't care if you say upset. I don't like, you can scream it at me, but as long as you let me know, just give you a minute. I have no choice but to give you a minute.
Yeah. See, that's great, because I think Aquarius and Cancer are perfect together because of the way we balance out. Like, because y'all sound very similar to me and her. Because when I'm like high strung, she's like, okay, let's find our center. And same with her, when she's high strung, I'm like, all right, let's bring it down and find our center. Like, so I think we balance each other out. So that's perfect. I think that's so cute that we're like same.
It's most definitely, but I can't say it's a little challenging just because she got ADHD. So.
Well, and so that's what we're opposite, because me and Chelsea think that we both have ADHD. We haven't been able to go get it tested, but we have the very it's very similar to how my brother acts, who has been diagnosed with ADHD, and I'm like, dang. Could I like, and then like her, it's just similar. So I think that might be where we also like mesh together, because we be noticing our ADHD together. Like, ooh, we just were both doing multiple tasks at the same time and none of them got done.
Bruh, story of my life.
Right. Sometimes because
be doing a whole bunch of nothing.
I'm used to seeing progress when I do stuff. So when I don't see stuff done, that bothers me.
As long as I'm moving, I'm happy.
And so
I feel like I'm being progressive.
I know, but like that sometimes, like I don't know, you can move all you want, but it's what you're doing when you're moving.
It's just the fact that all the tasks that are in my queue be halfway done, and I'm like, damn. Damn, I got halfway through everything.
We about to get cut off here in a second.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna edit everything, and we're gonna catch y'all next time.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Peace.